Hi guys, this book is called SkippyjonJones, about a little chihuahua. And my big kids know me, and this is a labor of love to get through this book because I'm not a huge fan of SkippyjonJones, but they all loved him growing up. So this is for you guys. See if I can get through it. Every morning, SkippyjonJones woke up with the birds. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mr. Doohickeys' bird bath." The lecture went on and on, as usual. "You've got to do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat, not a bird, not a mouse or a grouse, not a moose or a goose, not a rat or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. But once he was alone, SkippyjonJones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm SkippyjonJones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head." On his way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, SkippyjonJones shot past his bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed SkippyjonJones. "What was that?" So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a chihuahua." Back on land, SkippyjonJones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. And after he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, SkippyjonJones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skippito Frisquito, clap, clap. I fear not a single bandito, clap, clap. My manners are mellow, I'm sweet like the jello. I get the job done, yes indeedo, clap, clap." Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jilly Boo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippyjon come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippyjon wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With the walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterioso band of chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay, caramba, who goes there?" asked SkippyjonJones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I'm El Skippito, the great sword fighter," said SkippyjonJones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. "Why the mosquito, dude?" asked Poquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skippito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pinolito. "See, I love mice and beans," said Skippito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Leaning toward Don Diego, El Skippito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the chihuahua's very large ear. "Ah, Chu-Pichu." "Bless you," said Don Diego. "Gracias," said Skippito. "Then it is true," decreed Don Diego. Yip, yippee, yippito! It's the end of Alfredo Buzzito. Skippito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad bumblebeeto. Then all of the chimichangos went crazy loco. First, they had a fiesta. Then they took a siesta. A siesta means nap in Spanish. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great bumblebeeto for Skippito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos so great that one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Buzzito, whispered the crowd. El bimpo bumblebeeto bandito. See, said Poquito Tito, the bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans, cried Skippito, outraged. See, Poquito continued. Red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue. Cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto and jelly too. And now he comes for us? Poquito added. ¿Por qué? asked Skippito. Because we are full of the beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles, huh? asked Skippito. The dude just wants his beans back, said Poquito Tito. And you are the dog for the job. Me? asked Skippito. Then all of the chimichangos turned toward Skippito, the great sword fighter. But poor Skippito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamonos, Skippito, or it is you, the bandito, will eato, they cried. Skippito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then, in a muy soft voice, he said, My name is Skippito, Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Buzzito flew straight for Skippito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Holy frijoles! Cried Skippito as he thrust his sword in the air. Suddenly, pop! went the bandito, landing on Skippito's sword, and quicker than one could say chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers. Every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Buzzito, the bumblebeeto bandito. Then all the doggies burst into song. Yip, yippee, yippito, clap, clap. Our hero is El Skippito, clap, clap. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos, clap, clap. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from SkippyJones' room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Bangito, Crashito, Papito, Skippito. Just in time to see SkippyJones' closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, Beanbag Doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. SkippyjonJones! Everyone cried. Holy muchachitas, he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up SkippyJon and covered his head with furry, purry kisses. What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, SkippyJon began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm SkippyjonJones with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, SkippyjonJones, called his mama. Buenas noches, mis amigos, said SkippyjonJones. Oh, in the beginning, I think I said he was a chihuahua, but I forgot. He's a Siamese cat that thinks he's a chihuahua dog. Oh, yep. My kids always loved that book. But it's hard to read all that epitos and so this is from Genesis 3 in the Bible. The snake in the garden. Adam and Eve ruled over all the animals in the Garden of Eden, but the snake was very sneaky. He led Eve to the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He said to her, "Why don't you eat the fruit from this tree?" Eve said, "God told us not to eat that fruit." The snake climbed into the tree. "But it is the best fruit of all," he said. "It will make you wise. It won't hurt you." The fruit looked so beautiful and delicious, and she wanted to be wise. So Eve ate some, and she gave some to her husband. Adam knew he should not eat it, but he did. All at once, Adam and Eve felt ashamed. They hid from God. Then God found them. He was sad that they had not obeyed him. He was angry with the snake for making Eve want the fruit she should not have. He said to the snake, "Because you did this, you will crawl on your belly and you will eat dirt all the days of your life." He made Adam and Eve clothes of animal skins to cover themselves. Then he made them leave the garden. God punished them. Life would be hard for Adam and Eve. God sent angels to guard the gate and also a sword of fire, so no one could ever again enter the Garden of Eden. I bet they wish they would have listened to God and not eaten that fruit. Yep. Hope you like the stories tonight. Good night.